Hi, good morning. Thank you so much for being here.
Sure.
I want to start with maybe a rhetorical question, which is, my district heavily relies on public transportation. Why should my taxpayers fund construction in rural Pennsylvania of roads and bridges? It's a little bit of a jarring question when you hear it said like that. The answer, obviously, is that we live in a society, and what happens in rural Pennsylvania and communities outside of my community impact my district. And so I hope that we can focus on thinking about transportation priorities as being statewide and not just individual parochial interests. So I guess the first question I have is there enough funding without Philadelphia taxpayers, without Southeast taxpayers, to fund construction and repair of roads and bridges in other parts of the Commonwealth?
When it comes to the economic vitality of the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania and the revenues generated in sales tax or income tax or corporate net income tax, the 5 counties of southeastern Pennsylvania play a very large role in the revenues that are received by the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. Sullivan County is a wonderful county in this Commonwealth. I've been there many times. Eaglesmere is a really nice town. There's 4,000 people in Sullivan County. The economy of Pennsylvania is not driven by what happens in Sullivan County. It's important what goes on there, but the economic activity in the 5-county footprint of SEPTA matters greatly to the economy of every county in this state.
Thank you. But the second question that I have is more about a broader question about public transit and the threats of the cuts in federal funding. I don't want to ask you to speculate, because we don't want to get into unknowns, but what is the general liability for Pennsylvania, broadly speaking, in terms of mass transit all over the state, and how proposed cuts at the federal level might impact that?
Cuts in any mode of transportation would be very difficult to adjust to. Whether it's transit, whether it's road and bridges, whether it's aviation, all of the modes are important. They all have an important role when it comes to the delivery of people getting to and from work, to and from doctors and living their normal lives. The infrastructure of this Commonwealth, including transit and roads and bridges, is utilized by 13 million people every single day. And so the challenge is daunting. I will continue to live in the world where our federal partners understand the needs of transit and roads and bridges and the other modes, and will come to the very smart conclusion that all of those investments are worthy investments that deliver assets that are utilized by 13 million people for years and years.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you.